The Underdog Producer, my Superman review, directed by James Gunn. I'm going to have some mild spoilers. I'm not going to dig too deep into the details. And my goal here is to not give you a book report and summarize all the details for you. I want to let you know what I would do to help fix these areas that a lot of people are saying are the weak areas or the holes in the film. That's what my goal is, to help you decide if you want to go see this movie while it's in theaters. Let's start with the performances. David Corenswet. I don't know any of his prior work, never seen him before, but I thought he settled in effortlessly into this Superman character. He put the costume on almost like it was a glove that fit perfectly. However, a major flaw in the movie is it started off almost like we were in the middle of the movie or even in the sequel already. We didn't get any origin story. We had no context on it other than some text opening up. We were literally thrown right in the middle of Superman and Lois's relationship. I did not like that. We get thrown right into their relationship problems. What happened to the honeymoon phase? Don't we want to see that first? Don't we go into the movies to get some excitement, right? You want us to go to the movies and watch two people argue? We'll just stay home and do that. I want you to think of this movie like a sports team, like a sports player, where he gets traded onto a new team at the trade deadline, right? He's got to go in there and he's got to fill in for one of the star players that was injured for the rest of the season. So they pick up this guy to go fill in that spot. That's what this movie felt like. They hired this guy, they put him right in the big leagues. He had some big shoes to fill. And not only does he have to fill these big shoes, but we're starting him off in the second movie, it seems like. James Gunn expected us to just take what we know from all the previous movies.
Eyes up here.
All the previous origin stories, and just take that knowledge and we're going to run with it. We should know what it is already. We don't have to explain it to you. And here's the movie. Go. That's what it felt like. And the backstory and the origin story are the things that help build the emotional aspects that we encounter later on in the film. So if we don't have that, if we don't have the foundation to get that emotion, we're not going to get it when we get those big payoff moments at the end. I think it was a big flaw. Let me give you another sports analogy. Think about you flipping through the channels and you see a boxing match or a UFC fight going on. You see two fighters that you've never seen before, right? You have no idea who they are. You're not emotionally invested in these fighters. Chances are you're going to change the channel, right? That's what they expected. They expected us to be already emotionally invested in these characters because of the other movies. It's not a good idea. Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. I want to start off by saying I think he's an awesome actor. He's done some awesome work out there, you know, the Menu, Renfield. That being said, I think the role of Lex Luthor should have been cast to a different actor. Why? I think James Gunn should have cast an older actor. Maybe some wrinkles on his face, right? Maybe a bald head for real. All right, maybe some rasp in his voice. Someone that's been around, right? So we can feel that in him. I think he was just too young for this role. He wasn't gritty enough. Does that make sense?
I'll kill them too.
Put it this way. Even when he's acting evil, when he's doing the bad villainous roles, he still feels like a good guy. You know, he's still a likable guy. So he really didn't transcend that persona that he has to play this evil character. I mean, there were some spots in there when his acting was good. You know, he did some good stuff in the close-ups and, you know, showed some good rage, but just his overall personality throughout the movie. And you know what? It didn't help either that they were making him do like funny, silly things, like knocking a cup over so his assistants can pick it up. Like, this just didn't fit in. It didn't help in building this evil character. That's what I thought. I think realistically, I think it needed to go to an actor that's already established in the career, where they've already been around the block for a long time. You know, they've seen it all. They can do it all. They can play whatever characters. They can really manipulate their voice. Like, I think Nicholas, he even sounded too nice. You know, you gotta have that skill like a Daniel Day-Lewis, where you can completely transform your voice so you can mask who you are. I don't think he's at that level yet. Maybe he is, but I don't think he is. If I were to pick someone else to play this role, it would be pretty tough to find that nowadays. You know, to find like a Jack Nicholson that just settles right into the Joker, or Heath Ledger that settles right in. That level of acting is so rare. Maybe we don't have that nowadays, and I guess we can all agree that Lex Luthor is really just a very hard role to cast. You know, still, his performance was better than Jesse Eisenberg, but you know, he's never going to touch anywhere near Gene Hackman in this situation. But what are you going to do? I want to play devil's advocate here, right? I see a lot of YouTubers thinking the opposite of this, but I think this is a positive that Superman gets beat up a lot in this movie. All right, it's evident early on that he is the underdog of this movie, and you know what? I'm all right with that. The underdog producer. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue on. Now, what would I do to fix some of these weak areas that we're going to touch on? James Gunn made the decision to have a lot of humor in this film. And I think that actually hurt the movie because the humor often came in spots when he was trying to get a different emotion out of us. All right. Let's say he was trying to get us to feel some emotion, some sadness, right? It would be interrupted by the humor, or he was trying to get us into the relationship of Lois and Superman, and they got this big alien thing in the background, which is just basically robbing all of the connection between the two characters, because we're just like sitting there watching this alien thing going on in the background, when we see like the Green Lantern making a giant baseball bat and hitting it. It's like, this is supposed to be a very I don't know, a sentimental scene, right? We're supposed to connect with these characters' relationships, and we see comedy going on in the background. So how do I fix that? I mean, it's easy. Just don't put in all this comedy. You don't need it, right? It's okay to have the audience sit in suspense, all right, and not have to have it broken up by a quick quirky joke, right? It's okay to have the audience feel some emotion and maybe shed a tear or two, okay? It's okay. You don't have to make everything a joke. We don't have to laugh all the time. You know, we're not bobblehead clowns. We can sit there and we can take in the story, all right? We don't have to be broken up with nervous laughter and a nervous banter. That's what it feels like. They're just trying to move the plot along with this shallow comedy. Krypto the dog.
Krypto.
You know, we love our dogs, all right? We all love them. But in this sense, there was just too much Krypto the dog, all right? He was just too plot heavy. And I'm not talking about in a sense of John Wick and his dog, where his dog was the inciting incident that set John Wick off on this 5-movie path, right? We're not talking about that. He literally pushed the path forward, Krypto, all right? He was the plot, all right? Superman had to be saved like 3 times by Krypto. That's just too much. I don't think there was enough Lois in this movie. Now, she was in the movie a lot, but there wasn't enough emotional connection to Lois. And how do we fix that? It's easy. We just scale back on the scenes with Krypto. All right, you write more scenes with Lois in it, and you know, who knows? Maybe even make make Superman save her once. He didn't even save her in this movie at all. All right, I don't remember at one point in the movie where he saved Lois. Do you? Look, it's okay to make Lois a damsel in distress. Okay, it's okay. Superman is allowed to save Lois. Okay. He's allowed to. Romance-wise, I think they did a good job. I think 2 scenes of them kissing, I think that's probably all you need. But the problem with that is James Gunn wasn't able to make these scenes as powerfully emotional as maybe he wanted to. And I think that's because we didn't have the origin story in the beginning. We didn't have, you know, him meeting Lois, him going on the first date with her, building up that connection. We just threw us right in the middle of it. So after the climax is resolved and then they kiss, the payoff isn't as strong because we didn't have that build up in the beginning.